Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me as a part of your event this morning. I'm sorry that I can't be with you in person. I'm actually pre-recording this. I'm outside of Paterson City Hall, as you can see. I'm away this weekend at my own conference. So again, I wish I was with you having breakfast and having this discussion in person, having a dialogue. Because that's really what this is all about with TAPinto Paterson. It's about creating dialogue. It's about creating relationships. It's about building trust. And that's what you want to do in terms of engaging the media. So you all are doing amazing work across the city of Paterson. You're giving parks back to the children. You're fighting for residents, for our neighbors' mental health. You're providing meals where people are hungry. You're increasing literacy. You don't do it because you want the notoriety. You do it because you want to make a better Paterson. And that is so noble. And I'm so proud to be a part of those efforts in some small way. But the reality is you need to tell the stories. So you need people to know what you're doing. So you want more people to get involved. And you know what, when you tell this story, more people know what's happening, that changes the dialogue. We're trying to change what people think about Paterson. You know, there's other media outlets out there. TAPinto Paterson isn't the only one. And I would never for a second say that they're not telling the stories the right way. They tell their versions of the story. I believe sometimes they're not telling the whole story when it comes to the city of Paterson. You know, there's a phrase in the media, if it bleeds, it leads. That's a standard strategy a lot of reporters use. And the reality is, the sensationalized stories, the shootings, the bloody stuff, the gore, unfortunately, that is what gets the hits. But I think there's a lot more that needs to be told. And what I'm finding is our readers want to read the good stuff as well as the bad. So we're going to keep focusing on the good stuff. We're going to keep focusing on the stories that you're trying to tell. We're trying to talk about your accomplishments because we want people to know what's happening in this city. So how are we going to do that? And how can you be more proactive in reaching out to the media? First thing you want to do is you want to build yourselves a press list. And it's pretty easy to do. Paterson's not that big a city. There's 3 or 4 major outlets out here. There's 3 main newspapers I go to almost every day. There's a weekly newspaper. You know, there's some other online sources. You want to spend some time building a database. And you want to try to get to know who those reporters are. Again, it's about building relationships. A good reporter will want to get to know you as much as you want to know them. And then what you want to do is you want to engage with them. You want to tell them when you're doing an event. If you're going to be out at Barber Park on a Saturday morning, if you're going to be feeding the homeless on Broadway, whatever you're doing, you want to give them some advance notice. You want to give them as much content as you possibly can. That's called a press release. What is a press release? If you go way back to our early years in education and our very first learning about how the media works, you may have learned about press releases. That's telling your version of the story. That's telling the who, the what, the when, the why, the where, the how. It's creating that content for the reporter, for me, and for my counterparts that are out there. The more you put in writing, the less chance there is of a reporter getting it wrong. So think about that when you start to put pen to paper. With TAPinto Paterson also, we have an opportunity for you to create your own content. So you can actually go on, you can create an account, and you can hit submit content, and you can put your press releases directly up on our website. You can also use our community calendar. Tell people ahead of time what you're doing. We're going to keep those community calendar events free for all nonprofits in the city of Paterson. I don't want to charge because I think it's important that the stories get out there. Call me ahead of time. My phone number, 973-715-7330. Of course, I can't be at every event, but I want to be at as many as I can. And if I can't be there, we can walk through how do we get this story both before it happens and after it's over. So we're getting people engaged in it in the lead up to it, and then we're talking about your accomplishments. We've talked a lot over the past 3, 4, 5, 6 months in the city of Paterson about this being one Paterson. And I think most of us see that's truly happening. You put the politics aside, but people say that this is a city that's on the move, it's a city that's on the rise. It's because of the work of people like you. You're up on a Saturday morning and you're engaging with each other. You're trying to do what you can to make your communities better. And that's so honorable, that's so noble. And I so appreciate that you've made me a part of that with TAPinto Paterson over the past 13 months. We're going to keep writing those positive stories so we know people are reading them. We had almost 50,000 views last month in September, which is amazing for a newspaper that's only been around a year. So people want to know what's happening in Paterson. Ultimately, what do I want? I want people to Google the city of Paterson and start reading about all this good stuff that's happening. We want people to know schools are starting to improve. We want people to know the parks are being given back to the children. We want people to know that crime won't be tolerated in this city anymore. We want people to know that there's leaders, there's people in the community that care. They're going to make Paterson better. That Paterson will be the premier city in New Jersey, if not the country, before we're all done. So again, I very much wish I could be with you this morning. I'm sorry that I'm not there in person. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for being a part of TAPinto Paterson. Thank you so much for inviting me into the Paterson family. Have a great rest of your day. I look forward to seeing you all soon. Thank you.